So you know that feeling when you finally have to upload your game. You've been working on it for days and months. You've been try-harding, overthinking, overanalyzing the best way to make your game better, and you've been just pouring your soul into it. You put your whole soul into that project and you just want it to work. You want your game, when you upload it, to be played by as many people possible and the highest level possible. By the way, if you're somebody who has low attention span and finds it hard to maintain focus and hold attention on a video longer than 10 minutes, I want you to click off this video now, because this is only for serious indie horror game developers. If you want your game actually to go viral with zero budget and you're a solo, then you want to listen to this, because I'm gonna give you one of the main secrets that nobody talks about, okay? Because look, I know how it is when you just go there in your room and from scratch start as a solo indie game developer making your game, dealing with a lot of problems like what's your game idea, what's your game gonna be about, what is the main idea, what's gameplay gonna look like, how are you gonna put it all together, is it gonna be interesting enough, is it gonna be hard enough, is it gonna make players engaged or disengaged. You've been through all of this process all by yourself. You have no one to help you, and you finally reach that point where you need to upload that game. So you finally click that button where it says publish. You've also put in the description, the title, the tags, everything you've set up, and you're finally ready to publish that game. And you're like, whoa, I'm finally publishing it. Come on, it's gonna be amazing. God, please make this game succeed, please. And if your game actually worked, people will play it, people are gonna play it, people are gonna like it or not. Most of them are probably gonna like it if it's an indie horror game, because that's the genre that indie solo game developers tend to have the most success and most recognition in, is those horror indie games. And your game works, and it all worked out. Your game gets played. First week it reached the top of the top 10 on, let's say, itch.io page. Everybody is making videos about it, you know. These small YouTubers, these big YouTubers, they make a video, you get a lot of crazy comments. People just saying things like, wow, it's amazing, it's interesting, I want to get more of that. What's the lore? I want a part 2. I want to see more from you. It's amazing and good job. I really enjoyed your game. Or it got me really creeped out and scared. And all these players are just loving your game. And that's why you made it, right? Yeah, that's why you made it. But what happens after a month? What happens after 2 months? What happens after 3 months? Where usually these games tend to get forgotten. They be forgotten. Really, a few of these games just stand to be alive in a larger time period, because over time there's a lot more of these games, same as you did, coming on itch.io, and people are making them every day, publishing them every day. There's more than 1 million games right now only on itch.io, and if you put the Steam into the box, there's even more games. Now, if every day people are making those games and they're getting recognition, it's hard to make that one game that is gonna actually stay alive on a larger time period. So let's say you made your game and you spent 2 months for it, and it's been 2 months, real work, all of that you did by yourself, you published it, people liked it, there's this and that, etc., but it only lives for a few weeks, or it only lives for a month. All the work you've done, all that work for your game to be forgotten easily is very cruel. And guess what's the next step? Make a new game. Well, does it need to be that way? Does it really need to be that way? Is there a reason why there's games that actually stay alive and games that die? If you've been making games that die or that live that have a short lifespan and that can't stand to live for more than a year, 5 years, or even 10 years, you're doing it wrong. I'm sorry to tell you, but you're doing it wrong. And there's one thing that I've seen happening, and that I see that most of these simplistic games have in common, that makes them stay played and stay remembered. When persons are seeing it, playing it, watching it as a YouTube video, as a gameplay video, it actually robs the part in their memory and it stays there, stays in their brain. They don't forget it. These games are for a reason hard to forget. Now, maybe when you were making your dying game, you weren't thinking that way. For example, this one man, he wanted to make a game and he just thought, well, I want to make a game and I want to make this horror game, so maybe we need some dark house, dark apartment, right? And maybe we need a flashlight in that game because I see the flashlight in that game has flashlights. That must mean my game needs to have a flashlight to work. Oh, that game has a dark house and you're alone in it. That must mean that my game needs to have it too. Then this guy made a game about SpongeBob and got famously popular and his game got a lot of views. Maybe I should wrap that idea from him, just take that SpongeBob idea and put it into my game so it gets played a lot. And this is the one mistake that's actually the one mistake that most people make when they approach indie game development by themselves. And it's from my perspective only. I mean, doesn't need to be. You can make it however you want, but that's just how I think of it. And what these people fail to understand, and why is their approach not making that game alive for a long time? Why this approach kills their game over time? It's one simple step. And in today's world, the dumber you make it to be, the better. I don't know if you guys catching this, but I'm dropping a gem right here. I'm dropping something that can, by the way, whatever you're making, game, song, movie, animation, any creation you put in, even videos, if you're making, the dumber they are, the more they appeal to larger audiences. So if you're making your game dumbed down, specifically dumbed down, and if you, for example, put in the colors that are eye-catching and also the less sense your game has, the more people are gonna be like, what the fuck is that? Whoa, this person actually thought outside of the box when they made it. So, for example, even if it doesn't look the most quality high, I gotta give it a try because this person actually thought out of the box when he made that game and he made it different, so I might as well see what is this about, right? It's entertaining. It has always been entertaining for people to play something original and new, okay? Now, we said, make your game dumb, eye-catching colors, and here's a third key point that most of people are missing when they're making their games, and it's like, for example, you are making these games, and I know there's been like one person that I knew, he used to create his games and he always thought like, what's the simplest way for me to make it, you know, play the most? What I would like to play, what games on each I like and I can copy, or what games I think work so I can give my own version of those. And look, it can get you far actually, but will it get you to that game that's outstanding, that is standing away from the crowd and it's living long enough for people not to forget it, and that stays in the person's mind? The main thing The main thing that you actually need to focus is making it about the players, okay? For example, I want my game to be horror, I want you to play my game. So for my game to be played and to be good horror, I need to make what other people made. I need to make it about the ghosts. I need to... what's the fear in movies? Ghosts are feared in movies. Also dark environments that generates a lot of fear. So I gotta insert my game into that world. So your game goes into that world. But the key, the key of your game actually getting played and making that unbelievable success, it's not trying to insert your game into that horror accepted world. It's actually by making your game the world that other people will tune in. But you can't make it if you think of it narcissistically. I'm not telling you that you need to be narcissistic about it, to be like, my game is the best and you should need to play it just because it's my game. No. Actually, for you to bring audience into your game, your number one focus needs to be about the players and YouTubers, because these people, when they play your game, they will share it for free if it's good, and your game will get reach. And why will they share it? That's the number one thing you need to ask yourselves. Why will this person share my game? Why will this YouTuber play my game in front of tens of hundreds of thousands of people, maybe even millions? Okay? My games got viewed by more than 10 million people on YouTube for free. I made them completely free. And when I was 16 years old, I made a game Mr. White, where I actually didn't know any of this that I'm talking to you about. I was a lot younger, and I made a game that is a lot like Granny. So I put my game, inserted it in Granny, but for Granny being popular at the time, people actually played it. It was alive for 2 or 3 months, and then it died. No one even thinks about that game anymore. But chucknolemland, the new game I'm making, I'm really trying to make the game special and unique, but in a way that is best for players to be entertained. So if you want your game to get played, make it dumb, make eye-catching colors, make it about the player, about the YouTuber, and give your best. Give your best. Give your best. Also, today you can use AI, you can use lots of free tools. If you, for example, don't know how to code specific feature in your game, you can ask AI, and if you can understand it, great. If you're not, ask for help, I don't care. Do it alone, I don't care. But just when you make that game, make it for players, make it stand out, and stop making these games that just die quickly. If you want to know more about this topic, if you want me to actually go deep about these topics with you, and deep in the ways of how exactly I'm making these games and how exactly I'm coming up with ideas as chucknolemland ideas that are unique and memorable, I will share that all with you in my new course. It's gonna be named something like Game Idea Mastery, where I'm putting my best knowledge, my best experience. Again, I've been making horror games. I've been making games since the age of 12 for 7 years, and I'm gonna do my best to explain to you exactly how you can make your ideas, make your game skyrocket and viral and unique. I'm gonna help you, take you by the hand through that process where you can make these ideas and make games effortlessly, and your games actually will be a niche for themselves. Now, I'll make a course. It's gonna be named like, I'm gonna make a course, a Game Idea Mastery, and I'm gonna share it with you. Also, I'm gonna be uploading a lot of free videos too. But if you wanna know more, if you want me actually to go deep with you, type in the comments yes, and in a month or two, I'm gonna be having prepared my best course about this. So with that said, I'm putting an end of your games being dying, of you having no creativity and idea whatsoever, and your games failing. I'm putting an end to that, and I'm gonna take your indie game development journey and skyrocket it. So stay tuned, guys. It's been Redcap Games, and I'm gonna see you in the next video.